Well, we got the garage floor cleaned up a little bit, and we got this thing up on the lift. I have it strapped to the rear arm, and it's hooked through the ball, so it's not, even though it looks like it could tip over frontwards, it has weight on the back because of the motor, and it is, it wiggles, but it won't come down. So, trying to look at setting the length of that drive shaft, and then if we can get that set, then we can get it welded up and put in. But I'll take you underneath here, as this has gotten a little more interesting. So to see the length, and here it is, and you can see here I welded in a drive shaft loop just because I needed the drive shaft to go right where that cross member was going to go. And we had to take off that bolt, and then there's another bolt on the shifter that we had to take off to sneak it through. And now we got it all the way in here, but my shifter that I made is in the way. So now we have to try to get that out of the way. And I already got these bolts loosened up, but we're going to zip those out, and then we're going to see if this thing then can snake in there. But it is not quite as easy as we thought it was going to be, just to get this mocked up in there. So, and then here's the gas pedal, and was the brake pedal quadrant. I don't know if I'm going to use some of that stuff for the brake pedal, but we're going to start going in on that next. And this shifter is very, very sloppy, so I got to make that much better. But this was just trying to get it to work. Now you can get a good feel for the front suspension of how it is under here. And here's the main body of the golf cart, and this cross member and stuff like this. This is the stuff that I welded in. So obviously I just needed a piece to go up to this mount. That's some steel for the brake pedal, gas pedal assembly, and then everything else kind of goes up in. Some of it you can kind of tell where there's different pieces between the factory four-wheeler and the factory golf cart. For instance, this piece right there, the reason why that's in there is because the factory frame went right through the steering gear. So that, I put in that extra piece in there, which is, she's burned in pretty good. But you can see on the other one, there was one that matched on the other side. So we're just going to keep on going. You can see the brake lines. That's how eventually the master cylinder actually is still wedged up in there. You can kind of see the handle behind the shock there. So we're going to keep on going with this. We got to do some boots on it. This was the cheapest Articat 300 I could find, and it happened to be close to home. So it's not great, but it actually runs pretty good. So it was trashed as a four-wheeler. Plastic was broken. Seat was basically gone. So it's not, it's no loss of a four-wheeler. But it's going to be a really fun golf cart. And you can see there again, my boots are ripped. When I bought it, it did come with a full set of boots, but I have a tool that I can use when I use the Super Flexi boots that can install them without taking the shafts apart. You can just replace the boots. Here you can see where I lengthened the chassis. So originally the chassis was here. Let's see if I can do this. Originally the chassis was here and went to there. So that's the amount that I lengthened the chassis, from here to there. Now it is sitting at a little bit of an angle back here, but that won't really affect anything. Does affect the oil for checking the oil level, but I did change the oil on this thing, so I know it's good to go. It really needs a bath. But I just wanted to get it going. But yeah, you can see all the factory structure here that I kept in of the golf cart.